First question is, when you work with real estate syndicators, what are three, I think I asked you to identify three issues that you wish they would talk to you about before they bring their offering to the street?
Are they supposed to talk to us before they bring their offering to the street? Is that the implication there?
I think they should, because I know that they don't. I know that my
Right,
clients don't, and I know other CPAs tell me that their accounting clients don't, and it's too late, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's, one of the main things. If you're just starting out, maybe like a rookie syndicator, it's extremely important to talk to your CPA before, like you said, the offering is brought out to the street. Typically, we come in working with, your firm, Gene, or someone similar to you, in looking, in getting involved in kind of the whole setup process, right, for the offering, because that's where the planning occurs. On the other hand, if it's someone who has already made the offering to the public, oftentimes it's difficult, if not impossible, to change the structuring and how the income flows and all that. So certainly, I think for newer syndicators or even experienced ones, it's really as simple as an email or a phone call to your CPA, letting them know what you're planning on doing, because then they can hop on the call with you and your attorney to kind of hash out what are some of the things that we should be looking out for. I think it's important for all types of real estate deals, but extremely important for syndications, because it doesn't involve just you and one or two partners. Potentially involves a lot of investors. And also just, right now we're in an environment where there's a lot of tax changes coming out from Washington on a weekly or monthly basis. So really important to keep that line of communication open, like you said, prior to offering the actual PPM publicly.
I think a couple of things that come to my mind is one question would be is to decide before the offering starts is who's going to be doing the financial statements. We come in with clients and help them from a tax return perspective, but they're going to need somebody doing the actual bookkeeping and financial statements. And along those same lines, hopefully, it's not the client doing that. Now, we have some clients who can do it and understand it, and that's totally fine. But, obviously, from a majority of them, they don't have an accounting background. So hopefully they're not the ones doing it. And also, it shouldn't just be the property manager doing it. So a lot of times syndicators think, well, I'm getting financial statements from the property manager and that's going to be sufficient. Well, that's sufficient to cover the property, but obviously you've got the entity that has all the investors and it's got its own bank accounts and its own transactions that need to be incorporated into the financial statements. So that's something that should be addressed before the offering starts so that, your ducks in a row, everything's organized before the offering, because the last thing you want to do is be taking millions of dollars of investor money and, not have financial statements in order. The other thing I think that comes to my mind is something Amanda alluded to is just deciding before the offering, obviously, even before the offering is even written up, is how do you want to allocate profits, losses, distributions? Because, we were joking earlier, right, is sometimes we don't find out about a client's syndication until tax return time. And it's like, well, when we're doing the tax return, they haven't told us ahead of time. We're looking at, an operating agreement, for example, and how we need to allocate things in the tax return may not jive with how they're expecting it to happen. And, you want to have that conversation way ahead of time before you start bringing investor money in the door. So that you can change it as you want to. And I think, sometimes people think that when doing allocations or how we want to, allocate profits, they think more complicated is better. And so my opinion on that is, more complicated is not necessarily better, and it's definitely not always necessary either. Especially if you're new to this field or syndicating things, probably want to keep it simple so that you can be able to explain it to an investor in 30 seconds when they ask you the question.